Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of CookieCast. Today on CookieCast, it's the Formula One podcast, straight to the apex. Well, more races. Races gone, races to come. Formula One news, Formula One previews, reviews, all the views. Yeah, pretty much that. Before we start, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave a review where you can leave reviews. And obviously the biggest one, share the podcast around. It's a fantastic podcast, I'm sure you'll agree. And everybody should really be watching and or listening to it. So share the podcast around. Right, enough from me. Here's these guys. Here we go. This is CookieCast, straight to the apex.
We did it right.
Hello.
So 30 seconds before this, it was like, I'm guessing if we press record, it'll record and the meeting starts. I mean, it's almost self-explanatory, but neither of us fucking knew. It was like that. Maybe. Anyway, we're here.
Technology.
It is episode 8 of Straight to the Apex. Is it episode 8? Yep, episode 8 of Straight to the Apex. You can see we are so disorganized without Mark. I nearly called him the gaffer, but I'm not. No, I'm not doing that. You're not the gaffer. Gaffer won't piss off to bloody Spain and leave us all alone here.
Is he in Spain? I don't actually know where he is. Where did he go?
I can't.
It's a general election been announced.
It was Imola. He went to Imola. Christian Horner sent him a WhatsApp message and he went straight away.
Oh, I thought he fled the country after the general election was announced. I think his asylum application, his leave to remain application, and his visa's all fucking in the air now. So it's all
right anyway, because Horner will sort it all out. All he's got is, just send him some pics, maybe just a little bit of I don't know, some hand contact, so to speak. Maybe do a bit of a Monica Lewinsky and put on a blue dress, and Horner will sort out the rest for him.
Maybe. Yeah, catfish.
This is a really good start.
Amazing.
Sorry?
Catfish.
Maybe a little bit.
Being a very good catfish.
I bet Mark was sitting there thinking, you know what? Last time I went away and left these two to it, it was a really good episode. They got quite deep. They had a very, very civilized chat. Well, I'm sorry, Mark, but that shit ain't happening tonight. So hey, straight to the apex. I'm in the driver's seat this week. I am Jimmy, and my pit crew has reduced by 50%. And I have Tony, the T-Dog, still wearing Mercedes, but we all know we're Ferrari, really. Rawson. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm good. You know what? I enjoyed 10% of a Formula One race this season.
Yeah, same. I didn't watch practice, a little bit of quali, started the race, fell asleep, woke up, and yeah, it was over. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. I was James.
I'm Tony.
Next week.
We'll see next week. No, it wasn't really. The race was. It was just all a bit of a boring weekend. I know it is a prestigious track, an iconic track.
The whole thing was disappointing.
I know, and it makes me think, and I hate to say this, could we drop it? Could we see this being dropped very soon?
I don't think it needs dropping. The reason I'm saying it was disappointing is because it is renowned for safety cars. Everyone knows it's going to happen, and even the commentators said there is a 100% chance of a safety car in this race. And in the last race at that track, there was 6 safety cars in that one race.
Yeah.
6. And we didn't get one.
Disappointing.
And there was one driver driving around the track with 3 tyres.
I know.
And there was still no... What the fuck?
But what tyre
It's like,
was
all you want to happen is someone just hit a wall or just crash into the side of Max.
safely?
Not kill him or anything like that.
Safely.
Just
Wow.
maim him. Maim him a little bit. Maybe
Just
a lot.
get into him a bit. You know, like Tyson Fury, just get into him a little bit.
Maybe not Tyson Fury, maybe more like Usyk, you know, just...
Yeah. But yeah.
Less of the show from Tyson and more of the actual damage from Usyk, you know, just... Again, nothing bad, nothing drastic or anything, just career ending.
Maybe not that far. I mean, this track is known for career ending, life ending, actually. Senna was tributed on the weekend. Everybody wore a special t-shirt, and they had a little run around the track or whatever. But Max didn't. Max didn't wear the shirt. But there was also Valtteri Bottas that didn't wear the shirt as well. But he was on a bike.
I was going to say, I kind of remember in like Lycra.
All right.
I never want to sit there and think of Valtteri Bottas in Lycra. Although saying that, it's probably better than looking at his bare ass when he was swimming in that little like lake thing.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I think I'd go with the Lycra. We've seen quite a lot of Bottas. We've seen him running out of a sauna into a cold thing, Starkers. We see him skinny dipping in a lake, and then we see him in Lycra. And you know what? Even though Lycra is slightly more suggestive, it's probably safer.
You know where I'd like to see Valtteri Bottas?
I don't know where this is going. I'm scared.
In a better car, in a better team.
Oh.
Because I just think he's just getting messed about there, and it's just fucking... And they've sorted out the pit stops finally. He's not doing 30-second pit stops, which is good. But yeah, he's got his own image. He's a good driver. I wish he was just in a quicker car and close to the front.
Yeah, well, we could say that about a lot of the drivers.
We'll see.
But yeah, so for those of you who listen every week, we are down by a third. That is Mark, who is away on his jollies. He's on his jolly holidays with his wife. Hi, Kenny. Hi, Mark.
Hi. And he couldn't be asked to turn in and tune in.
Oh, yeah. The message was good. Yeah, guys, you know what? I don't want to do it. I can't be bothered.
Yeah,
he didn't.
That. Did you get the message where he was like, I can't be fucking asked? Did you get that one as well?
Yeah, and then he said something about fuck the FIA and fuck the fucking fantastic Andy or whatever. I can't remember what we call him anyway. I'm kidding. He didn't. He genuinely wanted to get on, but yeah, he couldn't. And you know what? I wouldn't let him anyway. Even if he tried, I'd probably deny him from joining this meeting.
I feel like he went to Greece, though. Did he go to Greece?
I can't remember.
He's having a good time. And I think it was his wife's birthday as well. So
we're not, because we're in the UK and we had our one day of summer this weekend, and now we've got the rain again. And he's out there sunning it up.
Yeah, well, I hope he gets sunburn.
So,
we've
already kind of touched. But how much of the race did you actually watch?
I think I watched the first 15 laps and then the last 10, which kinda worked in my favour. Let's be honest.
You know, they were probably the best bits. Practice, they were. We'll talk about it in a bit anyway. Practice, you've normally got a fair bit on practice.
The only thing I've got is Ferrari were looking very good. Had a few upgrades. It's all looking amazing. And then Alonso crashed. Big.
Alonso just had a shit of a weekend.
And couldn't really get the car back working. He just had a poor weekend. Poor weekend.
Yeah, the whole weekend was just a shocker for that guy. But yeah, we'll talk about that later. So let's get to the stuff. Yeah.
Perez had a spin. I think Perez had a spin, and a couple more hit the gravel because they changed the gravel. They changed the track slightly, haven't they? So there was less runoff. Did it make a difference? Well, there's no safety cars. So yeah, read into that what you will. Quali?
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Got a little bit on quali, but there's not much. But yeah, so let's get on routine because we don't want the gaffer to get too angry with us. Any news?
I've got. Is it Pat Simmons has joined Andretti Cadillac F1 team from the Formula One Chief Technical Officer. So yeah, to oversee the engine and the engineering side. So they're building a team. I think they are going to have a team, an American team in the future, very, very near future. They have, surely the things that they're doing, they have to get accepted. Surely to God. And it's just getting so much more popular. Another news story: Chicago is supposedly going to have a track, so that could be 4 races in America.
I was going to say, well, in North America anyway.
Yeah, North America. Yeah. So yeah. Well,
that's too many. But really, when you think about it, when you look at Europe, you've got Spa, you've got 2 in Italy, you've got the UK. Yeah, it's no bloody different, really, when you think about it. So I can't complain.
It's the longest ever season, which got thrown down our throats like mad at the weekend. Yeah, there's plenty of tracks in Europe. There's quite a few in the Middle East. We need more in America, in the Americas. So why not? They know how to put on a show there. Why not?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, you're right. And I know Miami's been and gone, but I still love Miami because Norris got it. Fucking brilliant. But I watched the grid walk for Miami, and it's the only one that I insist on watching. Only because it is so much fun watching Brundle. And I don't mean watching him suffer or anything else like that, because he doesn't enjoy doing grid walks anyway. But the frustration is just that little bit more there, because everyone he talks to don't know the rules, don't know who he is, and he just kind of loses it, and all the little sarky comments come out.
He's good. He's really good.
This year, I knew him, and he had a decent chat with them all. I'm like, oh, this is disappointing.
I hope he hangs on. I hope he carries on for a few more years. But he's not getting any. And his son's doing a bit now as well, so that'll be. I'm sure he was interviewing a few weeks ago. So
I don't know. It won't be the same.
It's just clever.
It's never the same. You hear the same guy every other week or whatever it is for God knows how many years, and then as soon as somebody else new comes in, you just sit in there. It's like, this isn't right. I don't like it.
I know.
As long as it's not, I don't care.
Well, it's interesting you said that, because this weekend Crofty had a day off, and we had this new guy called Benjamin. He was pretty good, to be fair. He was pretty good. Didn't fluff up that I can tell. Spoke very well. Good insight again. Made sense. I think Karun was next to him throughout the weekend, and he talks a lot of sense. I really like him.
Yeah.
I can't stand that bitch Danica, but many people don't. But
the only reason I enjoy watching, this is going to sound awful because it sounds like I just enjoy watching other people suffering, which I do, in fairness. But the only thing I like about Danica is watching Jensen Button stood next to her, because it is as clear as day.
Oh,
Every week you will say something and you will just see this look in his eye of, all I want to do is punch you in the throat right now. Genuinely. And
well,
if
you
he's not
think she's
thinking
bad?
that, I'm a former Grand Prix world champion. Why am I stood here with this numpty? Help
She's
me.
even worse on Drive to Survive. She's horrific on there. I had to turn Drive to Survive off because I just couldn't stand her. And Will Buxton, fucking hell, every word he says is a headline. Everything he says. Anyway, that's Drive to Survive for you. That's Drive to Survive.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think. I know I didn't finish it.
No,
It was one of those where I watched about 3, and I just never seem to rush to watch the next one.
I mean, it's in on the grid walk. When they interview people, quite a few of them say, "Well, I watched Drive to Survive, and now I'm a fan." So, and we did allude to that earlier on in the season. We did say that it brings a lot of people in, but we're already fans. So
I'll probably watch next season, because it's always just, I kind of see it now as more of a recap kind of thing.
yeah,
But I don't know. It is just becoming too much of an American reality show now, and it just seems a little staged at times.
yeah.
But other bit of news I've got, and I think this one's great. McLaren have brought out a new livery for this race,
Monaco.
and they've gone for the old yellow.
It's quality.
Colours.
Yellow with a bit of green and a bit of blue, and it looks fantastic.
It is absolutely. I saw the soil like that. Oh, it's beautiful bit of kit. Just so nice.
I mean, that team is on the up at the minute. It must be probably the most informed team at the minute, McLaren. The cars look quick. Both drivers look happy. Both drivers look in control. The teams look in control. There's been no mechanical mishaps or crashes or anything like that. They're pushing this, what seemed to be this invincible Red Bull.
They've got it so switched on at the moment.
So
switched, and like you said, they're probably one of the only teams on the grid that genuinely don't seem to have anything going on. I mean, Red Bull's got that little bit of drama at the moment. Well, I say a little bit of drama. The shit ton of drama with, people sending out WhatsApp messages going, "Hey Mark, why don't you come over here? Send me some pictures. I'll sort you out." Newey going, "Guys, I quit."
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. It's not allegedly. Well,
allegedly.
not the messages to Mark anyway. He didn't send out the messages to Mark. The other stuff though, yeah, that bit happened. Newey saying, "Guys, I quit, and you know what? I'm going to retire." But now he's kind of saying, "Well, I might actually go to another team."
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes, I don't know. I think they're all just stood there, just going, "Oh Jesus, what the how do we make cars work again?"
They're still
just
away.
And just get as many penalties as you can, and let's just make Hulkenberg look good. Ferrari was sitting there going, "I think we're getting rid of the wrong driver," and then McLaren are just like, "Hold my beer, mate." Like you said, they are all happy. No one is moaning. No one is complaining. The car is in tune.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know what? I think we've got a bit of a content. We could have a bit of a challenge this year for the first time in a while, which is going to be so fucking good.
I don't know. They're so strong. They're so strong, Red Bull, that you just feel like they could just They were so dominant earlier on in the season and last season. I don't want to believe it. Do you know what I mean? I know McLaren are in the inform and they're close, but it's almost like I don't want to raise my expectations to be like that. I still feel like that Red Bull's like crazy.
They are.
Naive is the word, I think. Now I'm just naive to it. Like, I just feel like Red Bull can just turn up a race and just 1-2, 10 seconds ahead of everyone. But
yeah, well,
time will tell. See if the McLaren is what it is. Past two races, this one and the last one, Miami, they're there. They're as quick.
Yeah, and at the time, you know, McLaren's been in tune for the last two races, and Red Bull do seem to be struggling. I mean, granted, at Miami, you know, there was the whole kind of, well, he did hit a bollard and blah 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 blah. But not being funny, mate, you had the same issues this week. So yes, the bollard had some kind of impact, had some kind of effect, but the rest of it is there is something in the car.
Mm.
Even Max said at one point, "I'm struggling to steer again."
Yeah.
Towards the end, complaining about his tyres going off.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, granted, that ain't going to last long because they'll find the issue and they'll fix it because it's not just what Red Bull, F1 team do, but Red Bull are just phenomenal at it at the moment.
That's different from last season, though. Last season, it was race after race, smash, 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 wasn't it? So the cracks are starting to show. I said that last week. It's getting interesting. It's getting interesting. Finally. If Max loses his head, it's going to be amazing.
Do you think Max would lose his head, though?
I think I really want... I don't... Unlike what you said, I don't want somebody to crash into him and it be career-ending. I don't think I want that. But you're joking. But
record, I am joking about career.
I just want a driver to really push his buttons, and not in a sportsman-like way. Yeah, just to see what he does, see how he reacts, bit of entertainment, bit of... I'm not saying that I want some fisticuffs, but I'd like some back chat. Do you know what I mean? Like in the room afterwards, like, why the fuck did you do that? Like, or him kicking off on the radio, like really kicking off.
The old drama you used to get in the cool off room or the green room, whatever. You know, you used to get a... Christ, I mean, Vettel and Webber.
Yeah.
You know what? When I think about it, pretty much always Vettel. There was Vettel and Webber. There was Vettel and Hamilton.
Alonso and... Who else was there? Alonso and...
Anyone really with Alonso. You know, if they're not Spanish, then he's not happy with them.
But yeah,
and that's not me. That is pretty much what Alonso said. I said, "Oh, he probably got away with it because he's not Spanish." It's like, mate, come on.
No,
I'm getting comments like that. That's as bad as Tyson Fury going, "Oh, this guy only won it because there's a war in his country." It's like, mate, don't say that shit. You absolute numpty. You've just lost all credibility.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
you know what? This is a Formula 1 podcast, not boxing.
No, it's not. But I mean, while we're talking about the sports, Hull Kingston Rovers in the rugby league world were absolutely fucking shocking in their semi-final Challenge Cup tie against Wigan.
You know what? Yes, yeah, okay. We won't go into it because obviously it's not a rugby league podcast. But if we're going to talk about other sports, I had a game of golf on Sunday. So I went out, I had a game of golf, really looking forward to it all week. I've been chomping at the bit for a game. Beautiful weather. I'm going for it, right? And I went out. First of all, I was stupid thinking, I'll carry my bag like I normally do, forgetting the ground is now solid, so it hurts your fucking legs. did all that, came home, did a bit of stuff in the garden, thinking I can watch the race later on. Fell asleep halfway through the race, kept drifting in and out. But, like I said, we're talking about the sports. I had a shocker at golf. Absolute shocker. Just topping the balls, left, right, and bloody centre. Rovers couldn't do anything from a rugby league point of view. I think if Alonso spoke to me or anyone at Hull Kingston Rovers, he'd be sitting there going, you know what? My weekend weren't bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a beautiful day, though. A beautiful day, weather-wise.
Yeah, everything.
And being British, you've got to look at that. You've got to take that in massively into consideration.
You get 2 to 3 days of summer in the UK, and we've had 2 of them already. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
But right, quickly touching on Max, because I always complain about him and stuff like that.
You love.
There's a reason for it. Probably already said it on here as well, so apologies. But you know what? If you remember me saying it, that means that you're a continuous and avid listener, and salute you. I don't not like Max.
Okay.
I know that's negative. I do like Max. The annoying thing is, I liked him from the start, and I always said after his first few races, he's the one to watch. He's going to be the one in the future when your Lewis Hamiltons, your Alonsos are all hanging up the boots. He's going to be the one. All he's got to do is lose his attitude, and he did a little bit. He went uber dick in that season where at Imola he decided to park. Sorry, not Imola. It was Monza one where he decided to park his car on top of Lewis Hamilton's head, and then to check that Lewis Hamilton was okay and hadn't died in the crash, just punched him. Uber dick. But then he was all right. And we're not going to talk about his first championship because that's nah. But the annoying thing for me is that guy doesn't need that car. He doesn't. He would still be doing it without that car. And it'd be so much more fun to watch because at the moment it's just like we're 10 laps into a race and he is already 14 seconds ahead. I mean, if that carries on, they're just going to be like, all the sponsors will just be like, yeah, we're not going to sponsor that car anymore because it gets no coverage. The only coverage we got of that car this week was when Norris was right up his ass.
I agree.
I know I say all these things about Max and stuff like that, but I actually do like the guy. I know he can go far. It just frustrates me.
I respect him because he's a champion. I respect him. I think he's a nice guy. I really don't like his attitude in the car. I just think it's just arrogant, arrogant.
Yeah, he's very. But then at the same time, most of your F1 drivers are.
Yeah.
He's just very dickish. But there has to be something about him because outside of the car, the drivers do like it. And Norris is a really good friend of his.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, maybe Gasly's not a big friend of his, really, if you think about it, because, you know, he was sitting there and he had a nice seat. And then they went, yep, sorry, Gasly, we're going to give this young kid, Max, your seat. And then Max went, yep, thanks for your seat. And, I'll take your girlfriend as well. So thank you. Simply lovely.
I think, I don't know. Would he do the same in a different car? I don't know.
He would. Don't get me wrong, he needs a decent car, but not a car that's 16 seconds quicker.
Can you imagine him in a slower car, though? The amount of he'd kick off all the time. All the time.
Oh. Maybe they should do that for like one race. You know, like in some rugby league games or NFL games or anything else like that, they'll have the odd game where instead of you wearing your normal strip, you'll wear like wild colours and all that kind of stuff. They should do one of those in Formula One, but it's like, right, so we're going to have a race, but in this one, Max, you've got to drive in flip-flops. Yeah. Or, here's a Robin Reliant, Max, you've got to drive that thing. Just watch them corners, you'll be good. But no. Right, so,
Yeah.
Go on, mate.
I think when you're on top, it's really easy to make everything. You're happy. It's easier to be happier when you're on top, or when you're the fastest, or when you're the best. I just want to see a bit of pressure. I want to see a bit of pressure on him, and I think that's coming. I think it's coming.
And that's what I'm excited about, because there's glimmers of it. And that's not me saying, he needs a kick up the arse or anything else like that. It's just that the sport itself needs that. It's something we've always had. Now, granted, that there was an era where it was Hamilton dominant, with all the back-to-back championships and everything else. But it was never an easy game for him. Never. But, he always had people up his arse and stuff like that. Sometimes his own teammates was a bit of a challenge for him and stuff like that. I mean, the best teammate he ever had, I think, was Bottas.
Yes.
Because Bottas pushed him.
And they knew the places.
Yeah. Bottas was happy to push him harder than he had to, but also knew his place. But it did eventually get to Bottas, and that's one of the reasons he left Merck. But, yeah, a lot of the time, it was maybe about 3 or 4 races left of the season, then Hamilton would have it. But I mean, Jesus, really, I think it was halfway through the season last year, and it's pretty much Max has done it.
Yeah.
And then it was just like he's just winning races now for shits and giggles.
Yeah, but everybody knew he was the fastest. He was the best. He knew. Everyone knew. So it was the arrogance was almost accepted, because it was just, he is the best. He can do what he wants to a point. I don't think when he's not the best and it's not happy, and he has a bit more pressure, and things go against him, I think he'll kick off. And in my opinion, I think he'll make it worse. I think he might have a crash.
You think we'll get all Max back?
I think we might have a crash. I think we might have a spin. We might have a tussle. He might have a disagreement with words with his engineers and the plan. I don't think he might not come in when he's told to. He might not pass and do what he's told. I think it'll be the detriment to him and his race. That's what I think we're going to see, and it kind of makes me a little bit excited.
Yes.
With this,
there's always glimmers of that. I mean, during the race, that there was times where his engineers telling him stuff over the radio, and he's answering him back. Granted, Max always answers him back anyway, but it seemed more in this race. So yeah, maybe there is a bit of a hint of frustration coming through. But at the same time, surely Max wants that bit of a challenge as well.
Well, I'm sure I just read earlier on today, he's achieved everything he wants in F1. So
pretty much, yeah. I mean, he's never held back on that either. He's always said, I'm not going to drive for I'm not going to be a long driver. I'm not going to be like, Hamiltons and Alonso's, where, I mean, Christ, when we're doing season 20 of Straight to the Apex in 2044, and the breaking news is that Alonso was agreed for another year's contract somewhere. You know what I mean? But Max will be long gone. He just wants to do his bit, get a couple. I think he just wants a couple more world champions under his belt, and then that's it. He's done. He's not staying for the long game. He just wants to do his bit and bugger off.
But I'll be interested to see what he does. I don't know what else can you see him doing? Driving and other stuff.
He is going to do a Saturday afternoon Channel 5 show called Max Verstappen Fishing.
Yes.
And it's just going to be him sitting at a lake, fishing away, and occasionally getting angry and punching a fish.
Yes, I'm trying to think. I mean, he could set himself up to be a driving instructor. I think he'd be quite good at that. I think he'd be very good at it.
Nah, it's aggressive for that. He'd probably be more like a white transit van man.
A lorry driver.
yeah. Max Verstappen, what are you going to do after, you've got your 8th World Championship? What are you going to do now? I'm going to retire and go drive for Eddie Stobart. But,
no, yeah, we'll leave that to the comments. Off you go. We have about 3 minutes, 30 seconds left. Where do you want to go to end this part one?
Well, I don't have much more news-wise, really. And I think we've had a bit of a chat, which, you know what? Even though we really went off kilter at some point, we got it back on track, and we did have a bit of a civilized chat. So there you go, Mark. We've been mature.
Mm-hmm.
I've got notes on quality. I've got some notes on the race. The main one where it just says shite and predictions, but we can do all of them in part 2. But I think really it's going to be more talking points really about the race in the second part. But yeah,
cool. Right then. Well, let's end it.
Take a break there.
Let's end it here. I'm gonna end the recording, and we'll see you on the other side, guys. We'll see you on the other side.
See you shortly, boys.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, you. Yeah, you that's listening right now. Thanks very much for tuning into this episode of Straight to the Apex, the Formula 1 podcast from CookieCast. If you're enjoying this episode, why not like, share and subscribe? Whilst you're there, feel free to check out some of the other podcasts that CookieCast has to offer. If you like football, we've got a football podcast. NFL more your thing? Then the Laces Out podcast is for you. Maybe even a little bit of the wrestling. Just look for the Getting Over podcast on CookieCast. Maybe you want to listen to Andy's Darkest Timeline. It's there too. So, the F1 boys have probably got themselves a drink. It's time to get back to the action.
And we are back, part 2 of episode 8. Straight to the Apex. I'm still Jimmy. That's still T-Dog. We're still sexy and awesome. And Mark is still probably laying on some kind of sun lounger, drinking some kind of cocktail out of a coconut with some pink frilly umbrella thing on it because, well, he's a bit of a girl. Hi, Mark. So, we kind of touched on quali, practice, and the race earlier because we both fell asleep. Yeah, so this was episode 8. Goodbye. No, so quali. I don't think there is much to really touch on with the qualifying. In all honesty, I mean, I did what I do every week. I watched the highlights again before we recorded just to refresh myself. And no word of a lie, Q2, when it came to the highlights of Q2, it skipped straight to the last 8 seconds.
Yeah.
And that is the general thing with quali. I watch quali all the time. I do. But I don't really do much on Q1. I don't really do much from Q. It's only Q3 I'm really interested in. I don't know what that was then. Something just made a noise over there. That was... I'm a little bit scared. But yeah, Q1, all I've got is Alonso went on Q1, which is just another part to his shocker of a weekend. Perez out in Q2.
Yes.
Who also had a bit of a shocker of a weekend and weirdly came out after the race and said, yeah, this is just a one-off. How many one-offs has he had in the last 2 years?
Many one-offs, and I wish he would fuck off.
One-offs is when he does well.
I wish he'd fuck off because he's just I don't know. I don't know. His contract's up. Let's get somebody else in there, please.
I think the reason he's still got a seat is because Horner knows that he's been sending Perez WhatsApp messages asking him to send pics.
Allegedly.
he doesn't want to get blackmailed by an F1 driver. Allegedly. It's not allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean, it could be because of the South American following. But I just want some fresh blood in there. Let's have a young driver in there. A young driver.
You know what? Other than Max, it probably needs a fresh everything in there.
I think Sainz is rumoured, isn't he? It'd be good with him in there.
You know, I hate to say it. I would imagine that is where we'll. I mean, who wouldn't? A couple of years ago, if that kind of Mercedes offered you a seat, would you take it? It's like shit, yeah. Now it is that kind of if Red Bull offered you a seat, would you? And it's like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Max has even turned around, and even though he got like a ridiculous offer from Toto to go to Mercedes, I mean, Toto, I'd do it for half the price, mate. Give us a bell. In fact, like and subscribe. You know, just do that on YouTube, and we'll message you, and you know, we'll put some negotiations together. My guys will talk to your guys, and I will be driving for Mercedes next year.
Yeah, and I'll drive too if you really need me, but. Really, my expertise is in water boy. So anybody needs hydrating, I will get the water to them as quickly as possible.
Sorry. I just automatically gone to Adam Sandler and seen him running across the track going, Gatorade. but yeah, only other thing I've got for quali is the end of Q3. That was the only part that got entertaining because you had Norris creeping up on Max, and I think there was 900ths of a second between him and Max, and then Piastri just came out from nowhere and got within 700ths of Max.
Yeah,
and it was, this is awesome. You've got two McLarens on there, and that I think it's always hard if you've got pole position. I think it's always harder if 2 and 3 are the same team.
Yeah.
Because then it's just a case of, right, you apply pressure, I'll take the lead. And that's generally how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
But then obviously Piastri got the 3 grid penalty for impeding.
Yeah.
And it was just motherfuckers.
But
yeah,
it's disappointing. Again. Won't go any quicker.
Yeah. But if I can just quickly consult my notes, because I didn't write these down like my usual Boy Scout self, mainly because I was having a nap. There we go. So it finished with Verstappen on pole, no fucking shit. Piastri second, but then it wasn't. So it went Norris, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Tsunoda, Hamilton, Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, and then 10 shit drivers, including Perez.
Yeah.
So that was quali. It was pants.
Quali. The race.
The race. The good thing is the stuff that I've got notes on happened mainly in the first 15 laps and the last 10. So the parts that you was awake for, and I was probably awake for as well, I think.
Oh.
So good start.
Great start.
I think Norris, had a very similar start time to Verstappen. Verstappen was pointing right inside the track, though. He made sure he was closing off that first turn as quick as he could, and you fucking got to, haven't you?
Mm-hmm.
After that, I think it was kind of something where Albon's like, guys, my tyre's not on right. And then he had to limp around the track.
Yeah.
And
mega.
Massively surprised by that because I haven't heard anything about any fines or anything yet.
No, neither have I.
And it's weird because normally the FIA would be all over that because it's like you've got a dangerous car on that track.
Mm-hmm. They did think, should they have pulled him over? And read. But he didn't. He carried on, didn't he? I mean, if it had come on
all the way around so he could get to the pit again, and was luckily was able to get in. Was able to sort the tyre out, and he went back out. Now, granted, he retired towards the end, but yeah. What's your thoughts on Perez in that race?
Perez in that race was just typical. I don't know. Doesn't really do
maybe not Perez as the driver himself, but the tactic they took with him.
They just it's like they've given up on him. It's like
you thought that too.
It's like they've come to an agreement that you're just kind of making up the seat. They're just sacrificially trying stuff with him, and he's happy just to be there. It's just
he was struggling at one point. He genuinely was. And I remember there was one point you saw him go off the track and going through the gravel. And I said to Charlie there and then, I went, you know what? Red Bull have just shat all over him. That they genuinely have. It was just.
I'm surprised that he hasn't pulled up this season already with a problem.
Well, I mean, pretty much everyone else went out on mediums. They send him out on hards. They all go in their medium pit window. They go in, they go on hards, they shoot back out. By this point, he's still going, which is fine, but his tyres are coming to the end of their life. So he's starting to struggle. And then as soon as he's starting to struggle, their tyres are firing up. They're getting to their peak. So then they're shooting off again. And then he's just all over the place. They bring him in to stick him on mediums, but because of how they've done it, they all worked out. And I even sat there and looked at it and thinking, right, this is your average pit time. You're going to be coming out in P13. And because of who you're going to be coming out behind, you'll be very lucky if you get into points. I didn't get. Now, granted, it's probably a case of the strategic sort of like, you know what, similar. There is going to be at least one safety car. So maybe they took the gamble. It's like let's do that, wait for the safety car. We'll get a cheap pit stop, and it just went to shit.
Anybody starting on a hard tyre is exactly like you say, a gamble, a roll of the dice, a fucking hit and hope. Or they're just trying something different if you're starting on a hard tyre. And does it ever work out? I'm trying to think of a time where that has worked out. But it usually, like you say, again, it's a safety car. A safety car comes in and it's like, oof, bang, strike, bang them mediums on, off you go. And everybody else is like, oh, 2 tyre choices, 2 tyre. Yeah, it's very conservative putting a hard on.
You said hard on.
Stop it. Mark won't be happy.
I think Mark would be disappointed if I didn't highlight what you just said.
I mean, well, we haven't mentioned anybody else, have we? Actually, we usually mention the Juice every episode. That seems to be a theme now. I haven't heard much more about him.
Well, you won't know, because he's dead.
Oh, well, I knew that.
Yeah, so I don't think he can generate much more news.
Did you think he did it?
Which bit?
Murder.
The armed robbery, the assault,
all of it. See, that's just a serious question now. I actually would like an opinion on this. Yeah, I think he did it.
I think he did.
I've watched a few documentaries and I think he did. But then again, the way he's gone about it afterwards.
I mean, the whole thing was weird. I mean, the whole car chase. Sorry, the very safety aware car chase that it was and everything else. But yeah, I mean, even if you had your doubts and stuff like that, then when you hear everything else he did, it's like, yeah, right, it probably did.
Yeah, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
Quit. That was the one.
But Jesus Christ, yeah, crazy times, America.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else? Any other questions as we just diverse slightly? Was JFK an inside job?
Oh, geez. Is this what you wanted to ask me? Is this your random question? Was JFK an inside job?
I mean, in your room right now, it's all dark. There's just a window outside. I can barely see it. It does look like you're inside of like a base or something.
It's so that when the CIA watch this back, just to see what they can't recognize me. Mate, you're asking the wrong guy. I mean, I could sit here and I could talk to you for hours about JFK. No, it wasn't an inside job.
No. Wow. Okay. Did you ever watch the Derren Brown experiment where he actually programmed a person to assassinate someone? But he faked assassinated someone. It was in like a theater, and he did like some weird like mind trick training with this guy. And
no, I stopped watching him a long time ago.
It was a few years ago, but it worked. The guy in the theater picked up a gun.
Oh yeah,
and obviously had no bullets in it. It just kind of sprayed water. But the guy was in like some kind of trance and actually did it.
I mean,
again, is that acting? Is that entertainment? Well, if you watch Derren Brown,
get him at Mercedes or something.
Well, true.
Just go to Hamilton and go, you're an 8-time world champion.
Maybe.
And also he just goes on drives, or say to Russell, you're not a moaning bitch anymore. And Russell had just stopped being a moaning bitch.
Yeah, Russell needs that. Russell needs to do like like all the like American teens do when they grow up on like the kids show, and then they have suddenly like a major like.
What they have a lightning strike, and then all of a sudden you hear George Russell's inner monologue come out.
Yeah, like he turns bad, like gets a face tattoo, shaves his head, and
he's going to go for Tyson.
Yeah, and talks like Bane slightly. That'd be sick. That one. Yeah, like he has like that turn in his like one, like he crashed.
Well, I'm seeing a bald George Russell with a Mike Tyson tattoo on his face, with a Bane mask.
And he speaks like Bane, and he's like yeah.
Murdered by it.
Yeah. Instead of like polished English George, you get like dark side,
proper Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
I could play any hard man George rather than
like it was
upper class tough.
Yeah. That'd be interesting.
What do you think about him? Because I've touched on the moaning, which was a nice little link to get us back on track. His moaning this week.
It's just same shit, different weekend, isn't it? But the difference is his car's shit and there's nowhere near the front, so it's kind of just it doesn't get as many views anymore, does it? It's kind of pushed to the back.
So for those of you who wonder what we're on about, Mercedes had P6 and P7. George was in 6, Hamilton was in 7. They bring George in and give him a pit stop. So he comes out in 7th. And when they're saying come in and box, he's like, well, what about P6? It's like, well, Hamilton's got P6. He goes, well, is he going to give me it back? No. No, that's not how these things work, because otherwise we'd just go to Red Bull and go, hey, Can we have P1 for a change? Stop being greedy. You know, you've had it for the last 5,000 laps. How about you let us take it for once? It's not how it works, George. It wound me up. That really wound me. I went on Facebook earlier, and there was a post came up, and it was Russell going, and he was still moaning about it after the race, going, "Oh, well, I had P6s. You know, when you lose a position and it's nothing to do with it, it's like, oh mate, shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
And I don't know why I'm apologising for my French. That's not even the worst thing I've said on this podcast. But I commented and I went, I'm not being funny, but it's not like either George Russell or Lewis Hamilton are in contention for a world championship here. So from a Mercedes point of view, all they need to look at now is we need to get constructor points. They ain't in a great place points-wise at all. They need to get the points. They need the funding to continue, blah, 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 blah. They had P6 and P7 nailed. It didn't matter which order those two drivers were, because either way, Mercedes still had points for 6 and still had points for 7. Russell had the fastest car. So to me, it makes sense getting the fastest of the two cars in, giving them fresher tyres, and get one more point with the fastest lap. And they did that. And all George could be going about was, what about my P6? So George is still sitting there thinking, well, I want the points. It's not going to do jack shit for you, George. It genuinely isn't. So be a team player. Do as you're told.
Yeah, I hope he grows up slightly and just lets things go, learns to let things go. But
I like him. I still like him, don't get me wrong, but I have been going off him for the last season and a bit now. And I've always liked Norris, but I'm really liking Norris now. And it's not because he's won a race or anything else like that. It's just, even his radio is so class. I mean, towards the end of the race, they're chasing Max. And his engineer comes on the radio and he goes, feel free to push a little bit more on turn 9, please, George. Lando. And he's like, I am pushing as hard as I can. Thank you. It's like, mate.
Just, Zach Brown must be really rubbing his hands at the minute because he's got 2 class drivers, 2 quick cars, both young. Like, McLaren are really on the up here. Could this series do some damage here in this season?
I think so. It's still early. It's not like Max has run away with it. I mean, I can't remember how many races it's been now. 7 races, I think it is, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And we've had 3 different drivers
win a
race here already. Sainz has took one. Sainz has, until Norris had done that, Sainz was the only driver to have beaten to be a non-Red Bull driver in P1. And then Norris is won.
It's heating up. It's heating up, isn't it? I mean, this nicely goes across to the end of the race where he was catching him, and he was shitting himself, and then he put the pedal down a little bit and got a gap a bit more.
That was my next point. After the whole George Russell moaning and everything else, was the Leclerc, Norris, and Max finish. The last 10 or 11 laps, because Norris all of a sudden we saw that gap just suddenly starting to close a little bit.
Disappear.
But then Leclerc started gaining on Norris as well, and he was like, oh, what's going to happen here? And then as soon as Leclerc misjudged that turn and went across the grass, that was it. He lost it, and Norris could pull away then. And that's when the gap really started to close. Norris was pushing. Max was struggling. His tyres was going. He was struggling to turn again.
Mm-hmm.
And Norris closed that gap really well. And it was, at one point, it was like, he'll have Max with 5 laps left to go. When there's 7 laps left, he'll have Max and DRS. And then Norris, I think he went a little bit wide on 2 of the turns, struggled a little bit, lost his advantage ever so slightly, I was like, that's it, because even he was like, his tyres have gone. And if I remember rightly, Norris's tyres was older than Max's.
Yeah.
And he closed that gap again, and he was fucking gaining. And he got within DRS with 1 lap left.
Yeah.
Not enough for him to get it past him, but honestly, I reckon 2 or 3 more laps.
He would have got him. He would have fucking gone for it. I know that for a fact. He would have absolutely sent it.
Oh, he's got the scent of blood now. He genuinely has. Now he's got his first win. He's going to be chasing them every week. And at the moment, the way that car is,
confident,
high challenge.
Yeah.
As long as he don't get too full of himself, McLaren and Ferrari can actually put a bit of a fight up. It's going to get interesting. I really hope it does. I genuinely do. Not just for me and everyone else, but just for the sport itself. Because unless you're a Glory supporter and all these people all of a sudden really love Max and all that kind of stuff, the race is boring.
I just think if Max starts P3 even for at a push, I don't think he will, but he could right now seriously start at P3. It's going to be difficult for him. It's going to be really difficult for him.
You know what? I'll agree with that. I'd agree with that. Because normally, if you'd have said that to me a couple of weeks ago, I'd have been like, no, don't be stupid, because
that's right. And that's
where Max P12, P15, and it's still a fucking walk in the park for him. But
yeah,
I think you're right. If he's in P3 or P4 or anything else like that, and it's McLaren or Ferrari in front of him, it isn't going to be so easy. He'll probably still get it. But it ain't going to be that kind of, he'll have overtook them both by turn 2 anymore.
Yeah.
I think there'll be a fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So, other than the last 9 or so laps of the race, like I touched on my notes earlier on, it was shite.
It was boring. There's nothing really.
People are listening to the podcast for the first time thinking, I might try and watch Formula One. Maybe don't listen to that last bit that I just said, because it's like, hey, listen to Formula One. This is great. And then we just go, yeah, we're shit. So it finished with Max on the win, Norris second, Leclerc third, Piastri fourth, Sainz fifth, Hamilton sixth, Russell seventh after he picked up his toys that he threw out the pram, Perez 8th, Stroll 9th, Tsunoda 10th, and then 10 other drivers that. Yeah. Let's have a look at the start, because I haven't checked these yet, which is, again, really shit on my side.
That's not like you, James. The points.
I'm normally all over this stuff, so apologies. So, drivers. Max is on 161 points now. Leclerc's on 113. Perez 107. Norris is on 101. So it's not like Max is romping away with it still. It's still fairly open.
A couple of DNAs.
That'd be it. But mate, the constructors, so 268 points for Red Bull, 212 for Ferrari, 154 for McLaren, and then Mercedes are fourth with 79 points. They have still not achieved 100 points.
Wow.
And it's Mercedes.
Wow.
So it's going to be interesting, mate. It genuinely is.
If Perez
I hope so.
keeps ending up fucking 10th or whatever, yeah, could be all.
Yeah, from a constructor's point of view, yeah, absolutely, because if Perez keeps struggling, but you've got a McLaren 2-3 or something like that, them points soon add up, and they do make a difference. And because Max ain't just running away with it like he did last year, it's not like Red Bull can just win the constructors just on his points alone.
Yeah.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting. So, Monaco next.
Monaco next.
Yay.
All of the season. Prestigious. The most prestigious track. The most prestigious track. However,
it genuinely, it's the cash cow. It's the one that they all go for, but it isn't my most favourite.
the cars are
Mainly,
bigger, and the track is
it's-
not getting any wider.
yeah, so it's that kind of, you need to do well in quali.
Yeah.
Best way to win Monaco is do your best in the quali. You win quali, you pretty much guarantee you've won the race.
Yeah.
So let's touch on predictions. Mark had 17 points. Me and you had 16 points. Mark went Max, Piastri, Leclerc, getting 4 points, giving him 21. I went Max, Sainz, Norris, giving me 3 points, so I got to 19. You went Max, Leclerc, Sainz, giving you 3 points, going 19. Charlie went Norris, Sainz, Leclerc, starting with 5, ending with 5. Beth, or the FIA, went Max, Sainz, Piastri, starting with 10, ending with 13. So I've got Marky Moves points.
What
So his
did
prediction.
wait there? What did Charlie say again?
Charlie said Norris, Sainz, Leclerc.
So she got 1 point, right?
It's all right. She doesn't listen to this, so she'll never know.
Every point.
Now because the FIA is probably messaging and now going FYI.
So
FIA.
what's picks for Monaco?
Picks from Monaco. Drive host to go spare. So I have gone Max for the win. Norris second. Piastri third.
Yeah. I did think that.
Now, I'm not going to give you Mark's picks. I'm going to let you go next.
I think I can. Shall I try and guess Mark's? I did this last time with you, didn't I? And I picked yours. So I'm going to go Mark. Mark has gone. You'll obviously tell me if it's right and if it's wrong, then obviously. I'm not going to go. I'm not going to predict the whole picks anyway.
I'll tell you right after you give me your predictions as well.
Okay. Oh, so I'll go first, and I'll go Max for the win. Even though I really, really don't want to pick him to win. Really,
I'm
don't.
not going to lie, mate. I struggled this week. I genuinely did.
I feel like I really need to jump on this McLaren bandwagon.
Fuck yeah.
But then I just feel like it's always Leclerc's race, isn't it? Ah, fucking hell, man. I might go Leclerc second. And Carlos Sainz.
Oh, you're going for a Ferrari.
Stick with the Ferraris. I think Mark's gone Max to win.
Yep.
And then I think he's gone Norris second.
Okay.
I'd be surprised if he hasn't gone Norris second. And he does love Carlos Sainz. So and he hates Leclerc. So I really highly doubt he's got Leclerc in the top 3 at all. So I think he's gone Max, Norris, Sainz.
Mark has gone Max, Leclerc,
What?
Piastri.
Has he?
Yeah.
Oh, no Norris. That's surprising.
I gently I just replied by saying, interesting. So I've got Charlie's picks here. And I'm not going to lie, mate. She has gone sensible, and
I hope she's gone Leclerc first.
No, she hasn't. She's gone Norris.
She's gone Norris. What?
Norris for the win.
Well,
second. Piastri third.
Who's got second? Sorry,
Max.
Oh, fucking hell! There we go.
I think that's
the hat's come off.
With myself.
I think if you're not going to put Max first, you really think he's going to finish second? It's that if Max doesn't finish first, he's got to have a DNF. Surely.
I think Max would probably want a DNF really, but the amount of time Holly in Monaco where something happens, towards the end and it fucks someone over.
Yeah, it's the power of the safety car.
Sure is.
And the climate as well, which we've seen time and time again.
So have you got the FIAs?
I don't know if I have the. Oh yeah, I think she went early. Very.
I hope. Point. Remember.
She went very early. So let me just try and find them again. Because I think she got a bit. The FIA got a bit. Was a little bit unhappy because of the treatment that she got. I can't find them. This is a bit. She may have heard me, so she might send them anyway. But we'll see. No, I can't find them.
Ooh.
I can't find them. Oh, I've found them.
I was going to say, maybe some kind of confirmation to the amazing Andy.
You might have them as well, to be honest. You might have them now.
Oh. Yep, she just went, wow, you two. Oh, shit, yeah, she sent them to me as well.
Yeah. And she actually has gone for it. She's gone Leclerc first, Max second, Lando third, which is not a bad shout. But I don't know. Leclerc just has a mistake in him.
I was about to say Leclerc's got a crash in him, and you know what? He always wants because that's his own ground. Pressure's on a little bit more there.
Mm.
You know what? There's some good picks there. I couldn't even say who'd have that. I generally couldn't.
No.
Even Charles. Normally you'd see Charles and be like, why? Why? Just why? But you know what?
Everybody. I know. Everybody's had their own little agenda there, haven't they? But
every single one have got the same, and they're all good.
And well, we've got about 2 minutes left, so we're gonna have to wrap this up. I mean, it's getting exciting.
Mate, you know, we did really well here. We haven't upset any countries or anything else like that. We kind of briefly touched on O.J. Simpson, but we didn't go too much into that. We didn't mention Epstein. Shit.
Or P. Diddy.
P. Diddy. We didn't mention P. Diddy or anything else like that. That was episode 8. And that's about it for him. I'm not going to go any further with that one. But yeah, I was Jimmy. That is the sexy T-Dog Rawson. As always, massive shout out to Andy and the crew at CookieCast. Thank you for still putting up with us, although I will apologise now if you're listening to this at work tomorrow, Andy, and thinking, oh shit, what do we do here? As always, guys, share the love, like, subscribe, run out onto the street, pin someone down, and force your AirPods into their ears and make them listen to this because we need more listeners. As always, I enjoyed that, buddy.
I did too.
And we will speak to you all next week after Monaco.
Till next time. Goodbye.
Peace.
Peace.
So there we go. What do you think of that? Fantastic. Thank you to the guys for bringing you everything Formula One. It's all there. It's everything you could possibly want from a Formula One podcast. So if you've got a Formula One fan in your life, send this podcast their way. They're going to love it. They're going to enjoy it. And they're going to thank you for that. You'll be the hero. Before you leave us, please do consider like, share, subscribe and comment. Leave reviews where you can leave reviews. And check out the website, thecookiecast.com. There we've got social media links and an email button, and that way you can get in touch with us, these guys. Any podcast we have, you can get in touch any way you want. That's it for this one. Till next time, I'm going to say bye, and I'll see you then.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to Cookie Cast.